Hi, this is Evan from Robert's Pianos Houston, and I'm going to show you inside an upright piano, basically how it's built and the very basics of an upright piano. So here we have perhaps the most common piano in the world, upright piano in the world. It's the Yamaha U1. This one's from 1968, I believe. And then here's the cabinet. The people that make the cabinet are separate to the people that make the insides of the piano, and they're cabinet makers. So they had to fit the cabinet around the piano, around the frame, around the keys. They have to understand, obviously, how the piano is designed, but they're cabinet makers. So we can take the cabinet apart. Actually, there's multiple parts that come off. We have the floorboard comes off, and this. They're always different the way they come off. This is very simple, very quick design to take off. It's always nice. And we can also take off the key rail. We have the piano open now. We have the floorboard off. We have the front panel taken off. Some pianos come with like a prop stick like this. So if you want to hear the sound of the piano from the inside when the panel's on, you have a little bit of an open gap. So that depends on the brand. We can take the front key rail off, which is just on grands they have a key rail that stops the keys from moving, and it's slightly different on upright. We have the action here. We have the keyboard, which is like a keyboard controller on your computer. It's this whole section here, and as a key bed, you can take this rail off too. And in this case, we have a Celeste rail, which is this felt here. It's not on all pianos. You may not have one. Most pianos don't have one. In fact, it's a more modern thing. So take that off. And this is the beauty of the construction of a piano. Look how much symmetry is going on here. So the action is designed separately to the frame. We can take the action out. If you look at the connection between the key and the action, it connects here on what's called the capstan. The key, if I take a key out, connects here to the action. So the action is connecting on the top of here. And the key is basically a seesaw with a little rod goes through the middle of here, and it acts like a seesaw. So when you press it, it goes down, and it comes back up by the weight of the action, comes down again, and you press it, and it's a seesaw. We'll just take out the action. There's one piece. Here is an upright piano action, and you can see the design of it. On the back you have these dampers. The dampers stop the strings, and every single note has a damper up till the last 2 octaves roughly. The last section has no dampers because the strings are short, and I'll show you in a second. On the rear end we have the hammer, we have the whip, and we have the jack. So that's a very basic. We might do an in-depth video on that, but that's the action, which we can unscrew. It's a little bit complicated, but you can unscrew the keyboard if you're doing something like restringing all the strings, or if you're changing the pins or those kind of things, fixing the bridge. You take off the key bed to fix the soundboard, for instance. So this is the frame of the piano. And if you look at the piano, it's actually comes from the harpsichord and the clavichord. But basically, if you look at it, it's like a harp. It's the structure underneath. It's like instead of playing a harp with your fingers, you're using a keyboard to control the action, which is controlling the hammers, which is hitting the strings. But it's underneath that is like a harp. They used to make these of wood, but over the last 100 years, in about late 1800s, it went all to iron. So iron is the material that makes the pianos really heavy, but also means that you're not going to break under the pressure of the strings. So the strings touch this bar here, which is called the capo bar, I believe it's called, and they touch the bridge. So the part of the string which vibrates onto the bridge, and the bridge is this piece of wood here, transfers the sound to the soundboard. If you notice, the strings are longer, and the deeper notes in the middle and the bass, they're very long, and the strings get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until this is how long the string is on the top string, which is about the length of a pen, less than about half of a pen or something. So the notes get shorter and they have quicker decay, so therefore you don't need dampers. So it's just less resonance. And underneath, if but we have the pedal design. And the pedal board, let's take this off. So whenever you see a good piano, you can see all of the components of the piano well designed, from the pedals all the way up to the action, to the soundboard, everything. So on this one, we have 3 pedals. We have the sustain pedal, which is the #1 pedal you always have on a piano. It's never not there. And this one we have the Celeste rail, which is the little felt we saw, which is for practice. And then we have the soft pedal. But if you look at the system of design, well, now you can see the bass bridge down here. This bridge is for the bass strings, and that transfers the vibrations of the bass onto the bridge. And then we have the continuation of the treble bridge. And the amazing thing is that the sound of the strings should be the same. When you finish playing a note on the treble bridge, a lower treble, a tenor, and you go onto the bass bridge, you should have the same sound, which is a miracle, because you're going from this part of the soundboard straight to this part of the soundboard, quite far away. So that's one of the biggest challenges when people design a piano, is that the sound is the same, what's called the break point. The pedals should obviously can be tightened quite easily by yourself. Usually you can do it yourself. If you want to tighten a pedal, you can tighten the screw. Just make sure that everything works properly when you're done. They put these felts here. If you notice, there's quite a few felts in the strings. It's not because it's stopping the note itself, it's stopping this part of string vibrating harmonically with other notes. So it's like, if you don't do this, you end up with harmonics, strange, out of tune harmonics or extra noises you don't want. That's why you have a lot of felts. All right, so I'm gonna finish there. That's a quick overview of the design of an upright piano. If you want to see more videos like this, please follow us, and see you soon. Thank you very much.